Recently I submitted Kin Spirits to Filmhub, and Filmhub are a platform which you submit your film to or your series to, and they package it up and try and sell it to streaming platforms like Amazon and all the rest. There's millions of them now. And we just got news that we passed QC, quality control, which is fantastic. So now we just wait and see if anyone picks us up. So passing quality control with Filmhub, it wasn't the first time I'd tried. And often people talk about having to try several times to get it right if you watch YouTube videos. I submitted once and I stopped that process the first time because I left out something from the film credits, which is not good, but thankfully it was pointed out to me and I was able to get it corrected. Thank you, Reef. And we re-exported the film and submitted to Filmhub, and we've just passed quality control. The process with Filmhub, what I did was I just watched lots of YouTube videos about submitting to Filmhub. And there's some fantastic ones out there that really go into detail about what you should do. And that's what I did. I watched them several times to make sure I really understood what was going on. And when it came to making sure the film was technically correct, what I would do was, send a link to the page of exactly what Filmhub wants technically to whoever was exporting the film. So I just, make sure you're really clear about that stuff. Also, when it came to the artwork and poster, they have very specific requirements about size, things like that, and what should be on it and what shouldn't be on it. And again, it's really detailed on the Filmhub site. So you just follow, what's going on there. Follow what they specify there. And again, for these things, for the poster, got it done by someone on Fiverr who, makes posters all the time. And you can go on places like Fiverr and check out people's previous work and decide whether, you think they could do a good job with what you want. The person I used was fantastic, I thought. And also the same with artwork. You need artwork of different sizes to be able to meet the requirements of the different streaming platforms. So it's all there on the Filmhub site. So I got someone on Fiverr. Right now I can't remember. I think it was the same person who did the poster. But I found someone on Fiverr that, can easily do all these things. And you could try and knock them out yourself. And if you have those skills, great. But, I knew that the simplest thing was for a cheap price on Fiverr, I can get someone to do it for me and do it correctly. So that's the way I went about that. What else? I used Rev to do captions, and I can't remember exactly, they were a third of the price of something like that of what Filmhub is charging. Why Filmhub doesn't make their caption service the same price as Rev, and then they'd get much more business. But the main thing is get it done professionally. I suppose you could do it, go through it step by step yourself, but it's much easier to get it done by professionally or by these automated services, and then go through it and just tweak the little bits that need tweaking, and definitely do that, because and I know doing all these things costs money, and I know as an indie filmmaker how quickly the costs add up. And if you're doing, your captions with Rev, and getting someone on Fiverr to do your poster, and getting someone on Fiverr to do your artwork, and just, they don't seem like much, but when you're an indie filmmaker scratching around to try and, survive, any cost hits you. So, but there are some things I think you need to take the long view on, and getting things like these, like captions and artwork and poster and things like that right, and the film in the correct format, it's important. Because if you don't do that, you'll be redoing it and paying the price again and again to make all these changes because you think you've got it covered. And it just takes the stress off, knowing that you can get someone else who's better at this stuff than you to do it, and do it properly the first time. Now, I made a few notes as always. I just check that I haven't forgotten anything. Follow the guidelines, don't stray. It's just basically make sure you follow the Filmhub guidelines. And there's another, the Filmhub isn't the only platform. There's Indie Rights, which is similar, but they're sort of closer to a traditional model. And to be honest with you, the reason I went with Filmhub was I could do it all electronically. Now, maybe Indie Rights has changed, but you used to have to send them a drive, and I think I send a drive halfway around the world, find out something that, something needs tweaking, and that's, these days, that shouldn't be necessary, quite frankly. Yeah, so now what happens? Nothing happens quickly. Filmhub, I don't know Filmhub's process, and irrespective of what they may say, the process that they actually go through, I don't know what it is. They say they bundle things up and pitch them to the streaming platforms, and I'm sure they do in some way. So I don't know how often they do that, if it's an ongoing process, or they do it once a month, every couple of weeks, I don't know. And once that's done, if we're fortunate enough to get picked up by some platforms, then that platform will have its own processes to go through, technically to bring a new film on board, and scheduling wise, and, their own quality control process to make sure everything's okay. So things probably aren't going to happen quickly. It'll probably be over a few months. And as soon as I know something, I'll, put it out on social media. I'll certainly give an update here and put it on Instagram and Facebook. So that's where we are at. It's a good news week, which is fantastic. And I hope to give you lots of positive updates about the platforms that Kin Spirits is on very soon. Thanks for watching. It'd be great if you could like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. I hope to see you in the next one.